Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to ZOP Gaming Channel. I'm Tim Green, and this is Fantasy Booking, where I'm going to fantasy book AEW. I'll be using Total Extreme Wrestling 2016. Why 2016 and not the new 2020? Well, I'm broke and I can't afford it at the moment. I plan on upgrading to 2020 when I can, and I'll take my game over to that upgrade when I can. But for now, we're going to stick with the game I already have. So we're going to do that. We're going to start by booking AEW Double or Nothing 2020, and we're going to go from there. I have made one change to the card due to Britt Baker's injury, which is in canon. Why don't we just jump right on over to Double or Nothing 2020. Okay, starting off, we have the buy-in show. I still love what they call their pre-show, the buy-in. We have the Best Friends defeating Private Party in 15 minutes and 29 seconds to become the number one contenders for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. Those are not on the line here, so let's move on to the main show. Oh yeah, by the way, I love this picture of Best Friends with Orange Cassidy in the center. It's just awesome. We open up the show with the fans cheering. Cut to Jim and Tony and Excalibur. Welcome to, ladies and gentlemen, to AEW Double or Nothing. We have a great show for you tonight. Tony, we're getting right to the action tonight with the Casino Ladder match. The winner of this matchup from Excalibur, the winner of this match will get a future AEW World Championship shot. The fans cheer. Jim Ross, you can hear the fans here tonight are hot. No, I think there's something going on in the crowd. Who is that? Cuts to a crowd shot of Mercedes KV walking through the fans. Jim Ross, Jim, that's Mercedes KV, formerly known as Sasha Banks. Mercedes walks to the front row and takes her seat. It looks like she's here to watch some AEW action. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Mercedes KV, which is her former ring name before she became Sasha Banks, is All Elite Wrestling. I have decided to bring her in for there, and she will have a big part in plan for the future. We have the Casino Ladder match. AEW 2016 will only let me to have 6 people, so I had to eliminate some people from the matchup. I kept most of them, except for I decided to put Pac in instead of Rey Fenix. In a decent matchup, Darby Allin defeated Orange Cassidy, Scorpio Sky, Colt Cabana, Joey Janela, and Pac in the ladder match to become the number one contender for the AEW World Championship. So we'll move on to the next. Post-match, Darby Allin celebrates in the ring with a poker chip. The music hits, and out comes Taz with a microphone. Taz tells Darby Allin, clearly, I was wrong. You don't need my help to win. Darby looks at Taz confused. Taz says, you should have accepted my help. Brian Cage attacks from behind and beats up Darby Allin. Once down, Taz joins Cage in the ring, and they pose over the fallen Darby. Taz looks down at Allin, and Taz says, now you'll regret that decision. So yes, I decided to bring in Brian Cage, and we are going to do that feud, but I decided to bring him in post-matchup instead of giving him right to an AEW World title shot, which I know a lot of people did like. I did too, but unless you're going to put the belt on him, which I don't think they're going to do, you're going to kill another big name who comes in, first big pay-per-view, so I'm trying to avoid that. Let's move on to the next. So in the next matchup, Dustin Rhodes versus Shawn Spears, and Shawn Spears defeats Dustin Rhodes in 15 minutes and 17 seconds. Let's move on to the first of 2 women's matchups. One of the changes I made due to Britt Baker's injury, she is out for action for a few weeks. I decided to move Chris Statlander into the World Championship title matchup to make it a 3-way dance for the title, and bring in a new talent to have a matchup with Penelope Ford. And that new woman debuting at Double or Nothing is Tessa Blanchard, who comes into a good In a bout that had a good wrestling and decent reaction from the crowd, Tessa Blanchard defeats Penelope Ford in 8 minutes and 25 seconds by pinfall. Yes, Tessa Blanchard has come to All Elite Wrestling, and we will use her as part of all this. Let's move on to the next segment. Tessa celebrates her quick win over Penelope Ford. She looks to the fans, climbs out of the ring, and walks around slapping hands with the fans until she reaches Mercedes. Mercedes stands, and the two have a stare down before Tessa continues to the back. Ooh, are we going to get Banks or Mercedes versus Blanchard? We will see. But nice little tease there. I do a lot of teasing of future possible stories here for Double or Nothing. For that. Moving on to the finals of the TNT Championship tournament. In a good bout with good heat and decent wrestling, Cody defeats Lance Archer in 19 minutes and 55 seconds by pinfall with Crossroads. Cody wins the AEW TNT Championship title. This is the only matchup on the card that I actually simulated. I did not pick the winner for because I wanted to see what the game would do. I had a plan for either person to win, so it didn't really matter to me, and I wanted to see what they would go. And the game decided to go with the actual winner. I was kind of hoping Lance Archer a little bit more, but it is what it is. We have our first ever TNT champion, and that is Cody. So, and we had a good in-ring action, a 58 rating for Lance Archer, which isn't bad, and 68. So not too bad. And a nice rating here. I'll try to remember to look at these ratings. Let's move on to the next match on the card, and that is Jungle Boy versus MJF. And in a decent match, yes, Jungle Boy defeats MJF in 16 minutes and 40 seconds by pinfall after a blotch interference by Wardlow. I know some people aren't going to be happy with this one, but I'm fine with it solely because I think this would be a better game, better matchup, a better story. That Jungle Boy just has MJF's number. This feud can go for years, and you could just have these two back and forth. And MJF just has Jungle Boy just has MJF's number. And I know a lot of people may think that, well, he just beat Cody by cheating, by the way, at this. But it doesn't matter. This is what I'm going to do. You can like it, you can hate it, but this is the direction I'm going, and I think it's going to be a great story to tell. So let's move on to the next matchup. So our next matchup is for the AEW World Women's Championship. Now a triple threat matchup where Nyla Rose defends against Chris Statlander and Hikaru Shida. I'm probably butchering her name, but in a decent matchup, Shida defeats Nyla Rose and Chris Statlander in 15 minutes and 28 seconds, with Shida defeats Nyla Rose by submission with a full metal muffler. And she becomes the new AEW World Women's Champion. So, yes, I went with the same decision that they did there. It just makes sense. Shida was over back in February when Nyla Rose won the belt, more over than anyone on the roster for the women, and they went with Nyla. Not opposed to Nyla being the champion. I think it would have been better to just go with Shida from the start, and you could build up Nyla. And it didn't help that, once again, she was off TV. Against her circumstances, that took her off TV, which I understand. But we're going with this. I plan on rising up the women's division in a big way on this show. Hikaru Shida celebrates with her newly won AEW World Women's Championship. She gets out of the ring and celebrates with the fans alongside the ring. She gets outside the ring and celebrates with the fans around the ringside. Cut to Kathy Kelly. Yes, I brought her in. Approaching to Mercedes, who stands as they approach. Kathy, Mercedes, I just want to come over and ask you the two questions that is on everyone's mind right now. You've been watching AEW action. What do you think so far? Also, the bigger question, What are you doing at Double? What are you doing at Double or Nothing? All I've heard is AEW has the best action. Lets me say, I'm not impressed. Sheeta, who's passing by, stops, walks back, and looks right at Mercedes. The two lock eyes before Mercedes looks to Sheeta's championship. Sheeta lifts her belt so she can get a better look at it. Mercedes smiles and then looks back to Kathy. Mercedes, as for why I'm here, that's my business. Mercedes walks off. Yeah, I'm doing a little teasing here with the women and possible matchups. I have a huge plan for the women, and we'll cover that after we get done with Double or Nothing. But let's move on to our next matchup on Double or Nothing card, which is Jon Moxley versus Brody Lee for the AEW World Championship. And in a superb matchup, Jon defeats Brody Lee in 16 minutes and 52 seconds by pinfall with a Death Rider. Jon Moxley makes his first defense. Well, in the game, he makes his first defense. Obviously, Jon Moxley needs to retain here because, well, this matchup should never have been the match, honestly. We should not have been getting Brody Lee in a world title matchup so quickly after he debuted, because it just, you had so many. You build them up, and then they take a loss at their first pay-per-view. Yeah, you can keep them strong and everything, but at the same time, it's one of those things where how do you do that? But they really didn't have a choice, so I kind of went with this. I had a big plan for the Dark Order in the coming weeks. Weeks, months, years? Who knows? Only time will tell. Yes, and Jon Moxley retains his AEW World Championship. And in the main event, we have the Stadium Stampede match, where in a bout that had good heat, decent wrestling, the Inner Circle, Chris Jericho, Jake Hager, Ortiz, Sammy Guevara, and Santana defeat Matt Hardy, Page, Omega, and the Young Bucks in 19 minutes and 47 seconds when Guevara defeated Hangman Page by pinfall. Yes, I went with the Inner Circle win here because I like the idea of the Inner Circle taking the victory over the Elite to further the Fraction storyline that we've gotten with Adam Page. And the Young Bucks, we're going to be building more towards that. We're going to be building towards the storyline with Matt Hardy in the Inner Circle going from here. And as in terms, you can see in-ring work, Kenny Omega was head and shoulders above everyone else. Not surprised. He is the best bout machine. And a 71, not bad overall for that. I kind of figured it would be a little bit better, but it is what it is. For the full show, we got a 71, a C+, for Double or Nothing, which is actually pretty good. We increased our popularity in 7 regions, which is good. Our highest segment of the show was right at the beginning of the pay-per-view, with Mercedes KV showing up, which just kind of shows you the star power she brings in. And maybe a little high. I'm going to have to tweak some stuff. I am trying to tweak the mod a little bit because I don't think some of the people's ratings are accurate, but we'll see. I'll have to take a look at that. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the card and the rating here. We got the ratings to go up, the popularity to go up a little bit in some areas, which is always good. That was my predictions for AEW Double or Nothing. Wow, predictions. Oh, I'm not on As the Buckle Turns. That was my booking of AEW's Double or Nothing 2020. Let me know down in the comment section what you thought of my booking, and be prepared to see where we go from here. I do have some plans going and goals for this show, and where I'm going to be trying to achieve in-game for AEW. Let's go over them now, because I was going to play as Cody as the booker, and then have Tony Khan be the AI. If you don't know about Total Extreme Wrestling, it's a simulation program. I am using, by the way, the Kill the Business mod for it, and I'll try to remember to put a link down below to the mod. So if you want this, and you can get that as well. But so it's a simulation program, and you have the option when you play to be a booker or the owner. I was going to play as the owner, as the booker with Cody being, but I decided to go with Tony mostly because when I was playing around with this early, he came in and vetoed stuff, which I understood, but at the same, and I was like, no, I want to be able to do it, run this company how I want to run it, so I have to be the boss. So I'll be playing as Tony Khan in game. This also allows me to not to worry about the owner goals in game, because I can make my own because I'm running the older. So I have a few goals here, and we're going to cover those right now. I'm going to try not to take up much more time. So some of our immediate goals is we got to elevate the women's division. It's not up to par for what it should be. You have a lot of talent in there. Some greener talent, understood, and younger, which makes sense. But we need to elevate it. There's no reason why we shouldn't be having major storylines for the women and really help elevate that women's division. That's why I brought in Tessa Blanchard, why I brought in Sasha Banks. I've brought in a bunch of more younger talent in there. I have plans to bring in some bigger name talent for the women's division eventually as their contracts come up in game. I have a list to go through to try to get, and I will be bringing some talent in for the men as well. And I have 2 big signings that I want to bring in. So, but overall, my first main goal is to elevate the women's division, and to do that, we will be introducing the AEW World Women Tag Team Championships, most likely at All Out. Right now, I'm working out the tournament to do it. We're not going to jump right into a tournament. I want to get some wins under these tag teams that I have formed, get them introduced, get people knowing, and then go into a tournament. And then another big deal one is we want to reach national side because we're currently a cult size in game. We want to sign a major TV deal. I also want to form an alliance with Ring of Honor, New Japan, NWA, and Impact Pro Wrestling, as well as Stardom, to be able to use all that talent when we need them. And they can use our talent, which is bigger exposure, which will help for the ultimate goal in this game. Outside of that, we do want to win some major awards. So we want to win Women's Match of the Year, Company of the Year, Male, Female, Young Wrestler of the Year, all in game. And I have a separate goal to see if I don't know if it's possible. Hopefully we can do it. But win all those awards in the same year. To sweep all of them. Not all the games in game, but the ones I mentioned here. All in 1 year is one of the goals, but also individually. And then for the big signees I want to bring in is I want to bring in, controversial, but I know, Brock Lesnar. I want to bring him in for 2 big matches. The first one is against Chris Jericho because I want to pay off the SummerSlam heat backstage when Brock busted open Orton in their matchup and concussed him. If you don't know what happened, Jericho didn't know the finish because no one really was filled in on it. And when Brock came back, Jericho got in his face, even backed Brock Lesnar up against a wall. Jericho was a badass. There were some teases online that Brock was trying to use AEW to get a better contract with WWE. And people were pitching Jericho and Brock. If they brought him in, you could do that, pay that off. I'm going to do it. I want to see if I can bring in Brock Lesnar so we can have that. And I also want to have Brock Lesnar versus Kenny Omega. Done. Right there. We'll see if we can do it. There's no guarantee, but I want to bring him in. And I also want to bring in the best in the world, CM Punk. AEW cannot do it in real life. Can I do it in the game? That will be ultimately the goal. I am putting a 3-year time frame of in-game time to bring in CM Punk because I don't want to wait too long because in-game you get older, obviously, and time down. I want to bring him in while he's still young, but I want to bring in CM Punk. We'll see if we can do it. And then we have our two major goals overall. The big goal I'll get to in a second, but my big goal for AEW is to involves the women's division. I always said raise it up, but I want to raise it up to the point where we can have two brands in AEW: the men's brand and the women's brand. Well, the women's will have only the women's. We can have these and just go off, have the women's and you have the men's. That's the goal. That's not happening anytime soon, but that's a big goal I'm going for. And then the major goal, the peak, the creme of the creme, I think I said that correct, is to push to dethrone WWE from the #1 company in the world of pro wrestling. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, I said pro wrestling, not sports entertainment. And that is my goal. Let me know down in the comment section what you thought of my goals. Let me know if you think they're good ones. Are there anything else I should try to accomplish in game? Let me know all that stuff down in the comment section. That's all I have for you today in this episode. I will be doing weekly posts for Dynamite and the bigger thing, and twice a week when we have a special event or pay-per-view. Like, we'll be building towards Fighter Fest going forward, and then All Out in September. Thank you for watching Fantasy Booking here on ZOP Gaming. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, and turn on all notifications so you know when all ZOP Gaming content goes live. And since you made it to the end of this video, give this video a thumbs up. You know you're enjoying it. So again, thanks for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.